Senator from Scott,
Communicate with the body.
please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday I filed Senate Bill 6, an act relating to legislative pensions. This is an item that many members will be quite familiar with. Of course, under current statute, legislators who leave the legislature and go to the executive and judicial branches of government are allowed to spike their pensions using the higher salary made in one of the other two branches. This chamber has been attempting to eliminate legislative pension spiking for many years, Mr. President. We used to pass the bill every year when the Democrats controlled the House of Representatives, and that's where the bill would often go to die. And then, of course, 2 years ago, it was included in Senate Bill 151. So every member who voted for Senate Bill 151 voted to eliminate legislative pension spiking. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court made a huge mistake when throwing out Senate Bill 151 on a technicality used by every legislative branch in America. However, that's a topic for a different speech, Mr. President. So here we are today with noted members of the new administration enhancing or spiking their pensions by taking higher paying jobs in the executive branch. And of course, if they stay 3 years at that higher salary, their legislative pension will be enhanced to match that high 3 earned while working in the executive or judicial branch. So if members look closely at the bill, it will look quite familiar. It is exactly the language that was in Senate Bill 151 2 years ago. That language, since it was passed and signed into law by the governor, is currently in statute, regardless of the decision of the Supreme Court. Because it was passed into law by the legislative branch, it remains in statute. It just is not being enforced due to the decision of the courts. So all Senate Bill 6 does is takes that language from Senate Bill 1 and creates a new effective date, July 1, 2020. That will move into effect that says any income earned outside the legislative branch in judicial or executive by a former legislator cannot be used to enhance a pension. Mr. President, this is the right thing to do. We've been working to repeal House Bill 499 since 2005. It was a mistake by this General Assembly back then to pass that bill. And as we wrestle with employee pension funding and structural reforms across multiple systems, it is time once and for all for this body to take the step to eliminate legislative pension spiking once and for all. We cannot go retroactive. I wish we could. But that brings up inviolable contract concerns that, frankly, I don't wish to deal with at this time. I'd like to have a bill that the judicial branch can agree with once and for all, Mr. President. So I give my permission to every member of this body to sign on as a co-sponsor of Senate Bill 6. It's a good bill. It should enjoy broad bipartisan support to once and for all end legislative pension spiking so we can send a message to the taxpayers as well as to all participants in all public employee pension systems that this legislative body will lead by example. It's Senate Bill 6, Mr. President. I encourage all members to take a look at the bill. It's online now. And at this time, I would yield to the Senator from Marion for commentary on the bill in his role as chairman of the Public Pension Oversight Board.